everyone, I'm Michael, aka Trayman3985, and I'm here today with another layout video. As you can see, a lot has changed, and I thought I'd show you some of the changes that I made. First order of business is, you may have noticed I built some new shelves. I mentioned in a previous video that I wanted to build a shelf that was long, going from there, shut up iPad, to there. Well, while I didn't necessarily do that, I did accomplish it by building two shelves. Well, one was pre-existing and the other one was built. Starting with the top, we have the locomotive shelf where I house all my locomotives, both steam and diesel alike. Some of you may recognize a few of them, but I thought I'd give you the grand tour of them. Starting from here and working our way down, we have the Santa Fe FP45, my custom-made Amtrak F40PH, Amtrak Genesis locomotive, Reading I-10A Consolidation, Chattanooga Pacific, and the Santa Fe Texas type, which I've since painted the smokebox silver because the Santa Fe Railroad painted all their engines, basically their steam engines, smokeboxes silver. My guess is they did that for safety and grade crossing visibility. Over here we have its tender. As if I had it together they would be too long, so the tender's right there, right behind this little 040 tank engine. And this guy right here is my prized possession. It's a Penske K4 number 1361. The reason why this engine is so special to me is because it was the very first ever HO scale model I bought on my own. Back when I was in high school, I took a work experience class that actually paid me, and it was around this time that I came across a site called StrasburgRailroad.com, and I'm pretty sure it's changed by now or it's discontinued, but at the time it had this engine, a Penske K4 number 1361, and it was like it was calling my name and I had to buy it, and so I purchased it. Now I think this version is called the post-war version. The Penske K4 comes in a variety of different configurations: pre-war, post-war, slap pilot, modern pilot, with or without deflectors, streamline, semi-streamlined, Franklin poppet valve gear, you name it. And since then, this engine has been a very special locomotive to me. And here we have my Odyssey 844, the living legend herself. And here we have a somewhat forgotten project. It's basically a Montana / Tycoon 460 10-wheeler made to look like movie star engine Sierra number 3. I am thinking of continuing the project and making it mobile again. And of course, we have everyone's favorite shoehorn. Just kidding. If it wasn't for this guy, some of us wouldn't be into trains. Yep, I have a Horny Thomas. I mean, Hornby Thomas. Sorry about that. And here we have my Hornby HO scale, or as it's known in the UK, OO scale, London and North Eastern Railway, Class A3, number 4472, aka the Flying Scotsman. And yes, as you can tell, I bought the Thomas Take-Along Flying Scotsman and mounted the face onto the model. And I gotta say, it looks pretty great. Though I have been considering maybe buying the Thomas Wood Flying Scotsman and putting the face on that, just to see how it would look. Not sure if I'll go through with it, but I'll let you know. And here we have everyone's favorite Scottish twin engines, Donald and Douglas. They're both Bachmann made, if you're curious. And one of them is modified. You see, if you look here, the nameplates are spliced in the middle. That's probably accurate for the Sharon Miller / Hit Entertainment era. was Douglas, by the way. But here, for Donald, I basically sanded off the spokes and moved the nameplates to the smoke box as a nod to Season 2. I am going to do the same for Douglas at some point. And here is a forgotten character, well, almost forgotten character. Her name is Winsley. She's a Holden B12. Here's a bit of a backstory for her. When I used to make sprites on DeviantArt, I came across a Holden B12 sprite made by my friend Daniel Arkinson Engine, sorry. And he basically made a sprite of Alfred, but I wanted to make my own OC of it, and so I made a original OC made out of a B12. It just so happened at that time I was in a Wallace and Gromit mood, and as we all know, Wallace's favorite cheese to eat is Wensleydale. And so I looked at my B12 and at Wallace's favorite cheese, and I thought, that certainly fits. So I called this engine Wensleydale. For short, we call her Winsley. Next shelf over is the rolling stock shelf. This shelf is basically where I store all of my locomotives, rolling stock, and tenders, and basically rolling stock and tenders. Although a good majority of it is passenger cars, I need to buy some more freight locomotives. I need to buy some more freight cars later on down the road. Starting from here, we have the Scale Rails Union Pacific auxiliary tenders, the ones that are so famously used by Union Pacific's 844, 3985, and soon to return 4014. These are some old Western style cattle cars, along with a Spirit of 76 boxcar. These were the first two passenger cars I ever bought. They're Southern Pacific heavyweights. Here's that Santa Fe observation car that I bought at a train show a long time ago. These are the Reading heavyweights that I used behind my OC Martha. And you guys may recognize these. These are the Amtrak Phase 2 passenger cars that I bought a while back. And this car, if you can tell by the paint scheme, is a Canyon City and Royal Gorge full-width dome car. I got it with a train set that I got from the Canyon City and Royal Gorge Railroad as a souvenir. We have passenger cars, the old style, Western style passenger cars that I'll use behind the Sierra number 3 once I get it back up and running. And from here on, we have a few box cars, one tanker, a Norfolk and Western auxiliary tender that I plan to convert one day, a few hoppers, and the most important part of the train, a caboose. If you guys may have noticed, the real appearance of freight trains hasn't really changed that much over the years, except one thing. We won't see any of these babies anymore. These are cabooses, as we may know them, and the purpose of the caboose was to give a conductor a place to live and to conduct his business, hence the name conductor. And of course, as you can see, they have towers on the top so he can get up and see all the way to the front of the train to make sure everything is alright. There aren't any cabooses anymore because the conductors don't really need to do the long hours that the railroads used to do, so they don't need to spend the night on the train, so they don't need a place to sleep. And as we all know with modern technology, it pretty much takes care of the safety of trains. And for you eagle-eye viewers out there, yes, you're right. My layout does look like it's in the process of being destroyed or torn apart. Well, that's because I have some unfortunate news for you guys. You see, I was told that my train obsession is too much, and they say if I don't get rid of my trains or just take down my table, they're going to do it themselves, so I'm sorry guys, but looks like this is going to be the final hurrah for the layout. Let's take a moment to honor what accomplishments I've made with this. No, I'm just kidding, guys. These trains are going nowhere, and my layout isn't going anywhere anytime soon. My layout isn't really in the process of being torn down, although it looks like it. I'm just remodeling it and updating it a little bit. Like I said in my first model train video where my layout made its debut on my channel, I said it wasn't perfect in any way, shape, or form, but it has given me ideas for improvements later on down the road. Well, I'm in the process of doing those updates right now. My first goal is to get this table right here equally straight with that table right there, and then after that I'm going to build a wooden frame across to add more strong stability. It'll go from here to there, and I can use some of the wood to basically build the leg up and make it more secure with the leg that comes out of the table. After that, I'm going to buy sheets of wood and place them on top of the table and try and make things more square and more even. And after that, I'm going to relay the EVA foam. I have considered maybe buying 1-inch layer of foam so I could maybe try modeling like they do in Trains magazine. But for now, my main goal is to get the table straightened out and more level again. Then I'll consider if I want to do scenic work or other things. As I do that, I'm going to redo the bridge. To be fair and honest, I absolutely hated the way the bridge looked. It just looked out of place and odd and such. Granted, yes, it held up really well, and it was successful, and the trains rolled over it, and it held up really good. But I just felt like I could have done a better job. Just having a plank of wood with foam on top of it, it just wasn't natural. And I felt like it was a bit rushed, and all I can say is, what on earth was I even thinking? In addition to that, you may have noticed that the lighting on the layout is different. That's because I recently just got done changing the lights. I was worried that the lighting was a little bit odd and didn't show the engine's full view, if you know what I mean. So, in order to change that, I got some new lighting to go around. Up here we have a regular desk lamp that shines right down from there to here. I got one of these LED lights. Before anybody brings up the whole LED/light bulb controversial talk again, I'm going to say that I agree with LEDs. Not only are they brighter, but they're very energy friendly. That's all I'm going to say, based on experience. And as you can see, it's angled, so that way the light points down to the main area of the layout. To give you a demonstration, it's fully light up. Now it's finally light up. You can definitely tell the difference. So as you can tell, it definitely makes the layout much more brighter. I am considering maybe buying another one and hanging it right here on my ceiling, but that's still in the consideration stage. And just in case you guys are wondering what are those right there, that's my collection of railroading videos. I was inspired by Leo Kim Video. I was inspired by him to have my railroad videos all in a line right there to give it a little bit of eye candy, as he would say. So that's basically it. Sorry if there haven't been much videos going on as of late, but hopefully I can change that. Thank you guys for watching, and if you want to keep in touch with recent purchases or updates or modeling projects I have in plan, I strongly suggest following me on Twitter and Instagram. Links will be in the description. For now, I'm Trainman3985, and see you guys later, and peace.